emotional eating is not a problem. It's just a symptom and a signal that your body is communicating when something is off. And that's why now I really appreciate and I love my emotional eating part, because it can signal me when I am off track. So in this video, that's exactly what I want to share. How you can start viewing emotional eating as something beyond just a lack of discipline or a habit that you've learned, or escape strategy, which is, viewing it as an escape strategy is already a deeper level, I think. Because most people, as I've worked with so many clients in the past 7 years who brought up emotional eating and forms of binge eating as part of their problem that they want to get rid of, and most of them were thinking that it is the lack of discipline or just a habit they got into. Some people blame their environment, their family for eating it at night, and then that night they can't control themselves and they overeat. But actually, it's not that. And when we look at emotional eating as a sign, as a signal that our body is communicating something through this behavior, then, and only then, I think, from my experience at least, can we actually learn how to live free of emotional eating, binge eating, overeating that would cause us lower quality of life and difficulties in various forms. So what I discovered in my own healing journey to come free of emotional eating, as that's been my escape mechanism since I was a child, to just snack something. And as babies, we develop, whenever there's something that is disturbing us, distressing, what we go for mama's milk, for the breast, because it gives us connection, it gives us calmness, and that's why some people also, I think, smoke, whereas smoking also entails other elements as, breath and stuff. But I do see that eating can cause, I don't know if that's the way, it's just a learned mechanism of our bodies to soothe ourselves. So there is that biological way why we go for eating when we're distressed. But also there are layers, and each person has their own system of how it gets triggered. So it's important to track what are the layers that gets triggered that lead you to binge eating, emotional eating, overeating. And not only looking at the surface level patterns of it's evening time, I'm with my family and I'm watching TV, and that's why when I overeat, but also looking at internal world and what's happening within. So I just want to share a few things that I've realized in my own journey and in some of my clients that we worked on emotional eating and binge eating. And what I found is that most of it is tied to shame. And I know that whenever I mention this kind of word to my clients or in lectures, people are like, oh, let's not go there. Shame is something that we're ashamed to talk about, and let's not just even think about it. But that's why it gets bypassed so often. And so many people, including me, I thought I don't have any shame. It's just not a thing. But when I actually started examining those patterns, I noticed that a form of shame that gets triggered, that leads me into this feeling of discomfort in my body. And that leads me to not do my practices, not meet with myself in a way that would regulate me, not do the things that I know helps me, like going out in nature, taking a shower, just what helps me feel like myself, because that shame just wants to make me rush, go through life, focus on work, lose myself in it, and that then triggers emotional eating when I've just pushed myself too far. And so emotional eating comes in when my body and my mind, it just needs to stop, and they know that, they can push me into eating because that's something that I still allow myself to do when I'm working, but I don't allow myself to meditate or go to, take a break, because my system is so familiar with just pushing. And for each person, it's different complexity. For me, it's really tied to that I'm not good enough, that some people will see that I'm somehow defective, and that's why the pushing part comes in, to just rush and do and achieve, to get rid of that feeling of I'm not good enough. I mean, that's what it used to be. Now that I'm examined that whole shame spiral and the whole loop, it's now what it is, when I notice that, oh, I want to eat emotionally, now usually what it communicates is that I've not given myself pleasure of life, enjoyment, calm moments, of just stillness, of meeting with myself, and I just got into the mode of I need to work harder. That happens when I have a lot of deadlines or projects to do, or just book too many clients. And so for me, it really teaches me how to honor my boundaries with myself and with work, and to treat my body the way it wants to be treated. But I've had to come a long journey to now that I could notice it so easily. And not to say that I never eat more than my body needs, because intuitive eating is not about just eating the perfect amount of food, because that would become another diet. Sometimes, I'm at a celebration, sometimes I lose my awareness when I'm with people, so that's why I do prefer eating alone and stuff. But all of that said, the video is really just meant to inspire and to share that there are ways to find peace with yourself, but for that, you do need to examine in your life, where do you feel shame, inadequacy, the feeling that you need to escape, and really sit with that. And I find that with a lot of clients, when we give the space for that and we go deeper, it does naturally unfold. And shame is a complex thing. It has many layers and a lot of protectors from internal family systems, as that's one of my main modalities I work with, because I just find it incredibly useful to navigate daily life and befriend those parts that are protecting, because so often we try to just get rid of those parts because we hate our emotional eating part. And that's why for me it was probably the biggest shift when I gotten to love my emotional eating part, my overeating part, because I understood why it comes about and what's it protecting. What is it protecting and what is it giving me? That is giving me comfort, ease, it gives me break when I don't allow myself the break of just normal rest. And so when I learned what that part is giving me, then and only then I could see how I can provide that to myself in healthier ways, and before that part needs to act out and rush in and overtake me with binge eating. And since I've done that, I've never had an episode of I really need to overeat or craving food. I still do get those feelings of, oh, it would be nice to just eat something emotionally, but it never feels so satisfying. It never feels so satisfying because I can give myself that satisfaction through other ways, and that is more satisfying because it comes without the guilt that the overeating gives and the physical discomfort. And so that's how I found my freedom, and just wanted to share that with you, with the hope of that it might inspire you. And this was less of a structured video than I normally make. So if you do have any questions, feel free to let me know and share your experience with overeating. I also made another video, how I overcame my disordered eating. I will link that. And if you'd like to work personally with me, I do integrative therapy, integrating many modalities in one. You can reach out to me personally. All the links are below. And I hope to see you in the next video.